Hello, welcome, MixLife 52. We've done this thing for 52 weeks, not consecutive, but this is a year. This is a very committed year of a weekly podcast. I feel that we're less rookies than we at YouTube than we were when we started. I have the illustrious on every DIY podcast, Concrete River, with me. Say hello.
When we say we're not rookies, we're not saying we're good at it. We're just slightly less bad at it, which I'll completely take for a year worth of effort.
Yeah, like I'd say around MixLife 25, I stopped dreading the idea of a podcast. And then probably around 30, 40, you start to like be okay with being on camera for an hour. But up till that point, it's pretty much just dread as you get used to it.
Just a sheer creeping dread that pervades every aspect of your life. But don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just happy to be here today, folks. We're still mixed, and that's the cool thing. E-Juice Makers is bigger than ever. And we're all doing really well, I'd say. Like everyone that's affiliated with the team is doing pretty well. We have really nice sales for chefs. A lot of our one-shot samples over there have sold out already, and it takes us like a month usually to sell out a flavor. So 10 ml samples is a new thing we got going. And the only other person that ever did that was chefs themselves. Like their promo game's strong, where they'll send out 100 of a new flavor, and everyone's going crazy over that single flavor. So that's part of what we did with theirs. So the whole 28 flavors, you can get 10 mils. That's going well. Mixer collection is in Mexico and coming to some other countries too. So that's going well.
And you guys got on the YouTube too. I've been like refreshing that vaping bogan thing, because I do occasionally watch hardware reviews, and I've just been like watching, oh, I wonder if he's going to pick up one of Jarvis's juices next.
Yeah. He did. He did. So if you guys know who the vaping bogan is, he did a review of my blue icy juice and then Copal's Sakura Sweets. And he's got like 100,000 subscribers down like Australia, New Zealand, and focused. And it's really good. He's really cool about what he said. And that was crazy because that same week, Christopher was on, I think it's the Vaping Chronicles. So that was like 100,000 subscribers hit 3 different times. So like 300,000 potential views on some stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, man. We're doing.
And I saw that he gave a shout out to, I forget which one of Jarvis's juice out of the Mixers collection, but he was like up on the Instagram and shit. So yeah.
Yeah, Jarvis does really well on Instagram. And that's our thing. You can find me on there. Username's Chemist. And I've been putting up more stuff lately because I watch Gary Vaynerchuk. By the time I get done watching the video, I'm like, oh, I got to do Instagram. He like guilts me into it.
It's just like taking a bump, but you just like come up just like ready to market, you know?
Yeah, you're like, all right. Woo. This is the best time in the world to be marketing. When in reality, it's like, I don't know, maybe like 1960s when there were no regulations. And you were just like, you could say anything. That was probably better marketing. Like
yeah, you could make some wild-ass health claims, because that's what the Mixer collection needs, is some wild-ass health claims.
Well, like the Madman dudes look pretty happy. Like they look like they had that going on. And, you know, the industry killed that job pretty much. Like it's hard to be an advertising guy nowadays. If you're like, oh, I do newspaper advertising, like you don't really have a great career future. Artificial intelligence, though, that'll be interesting to see what that does to e-juice. Like, did you ever see there's a video where it's like a box with your flavors in it, and you hit your flavor you want, and it mixes the flavorings? Did you ever see that video?
No. Is that like a production juice making machine thing?
No, it was more for like if you wanted to like flavor coffee or something. You have like 7 different flavors, and you hit a recipe. It's like a demo spec, like one of those concept videos. But it'll be interesting to see what like the next 10 years brings as robots are everywhere. You know, maybe it'll bring flavoring into like you know, where we'll just type in our recipe and it'll pull from all the flavor. Liquid Barnes flavor.
See, that doesn't sound like a bad idea until you get to the idea of having to clean something like that out. Because it's like if you're using 10 flavors, sure, let's build some sort of fancy robot. You could solder things. I don't know how technology works, but like yeah, I just think of cleaning miles of tubing and I just want to die just right off the bat. So I'll stick with my bottles for right now.
They had a thing, it's a vending machine of salads, and it's like a fresh made perfect salad, but in a vending machine, and then they change it daily. And they're like in LA and like Chicago. But a lot of these like 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 type office workers, there's no time if you're not going out to eat somewhere to like make food. So I thought that was a nifty invention, was like a legit salad vending machine, not like some sort of crazy ghetto vending machine salad. You wouldn't want that.
It's just a small Dominican woman in an actual box.
She's making the salads on the other side.
Yeah, because I think that's probably the future of automation, because robots are going to get more and more expensive, and eventually the robots are just going to put us in boxes to do tasks.
Did you see the cooking robot that's in like a glass room just going to town on a meal? And it's like it's just the arms, right? There's no body. It's just like robot arms, and it's following this program that a chef did. So a chef has gone through and like showed it, take the garlic from here, chop it up, saute the sauce. So it's programmed his movements to make a pasta dinner. And then it's like in this guarded room that looks like a kitchen, but it's all glassed up. That thing's totally going to cut the hell out of somebody. That'll be one of the first things that does, is like you walk in the kitchen for milk and Edward Scissorhand dices you up.
Yeah, I mean, you're just asking for trouble at that point. I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't give a robot a chef's knife.
Right.
Like, I think that was Isaac Asimov's 4th law of robotics, is don't give them anything too sharp.
See, it's gonna be crazy. Like the next 10 years is gonna be like a mind warp for technology. Like some of you guys that live in bigger cities, you got like the self-driving cars, which I don't have where I'm at. I don't see that. But some of you guys in the cities are like totally conditioned to like, oh, nobody's driving that car that just went by. You know, it's crazy. Pretty much Terminator 2 is 100% correct. Like we're Skynet. That's just like a countdown now, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the fatal flaw in that kind of ideology, that like technology will set you free. It's like everybody thinks we're going to move towards like the singularity where we merge with machines and stuff. I'm thinking by the point that that's possible, the machines aren't going to want to merge with us.
Right? They're gonna just be like, oh, you guys are dinosaurs. Time to wipe you out.
Yeah, like we're not going to live forever in machine consciousness. The machines are just going to get tired of us and then just kill us off en masse. So that's my plan.
There's a trending video. It's like number 4, and it's this graph about time, and like it goes all the way back into like the history of the Earth and stuff. And then one of the parts, it's like Homo sapiens had 5 other close DNA matches, but they all died. And then it's like, maybe we murdered them. Like it could have been a time where, so there's a time where there was 5 other species that were like humans, but then wiped out. So it just could have been just like a total elimination, which is what the robots will do to us. It's just like slow processor, like an old laptop. They're going to see us like an old laptop, just be like, time to cut it.
We're gonna end up in the equivalent version of Goodwill for the robots. It's gonna be terrible.
Yes, that's it.
Speaking We're gonna be warehouse somewhere.
Yeah, like Westworld warehouse. There's a real good show, Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams. Been watching that one, and it's just like Black Mirror, where like you can only handle one, and then it creeps you out until you recover. So if you like Black Mirror, it's on Amazon Prime. We've been watching one every couple of days, and they're crazy.
You know, I watched through that, and what it really reminded me of was the reboot of Outer Limits from the 90s.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is like a bad thing, because God knows I love those kind of like goofy anthology shows. But yeah, it definitely had a little bit of like 90s reboot of Outer Limits in its DNA. It was fun though.
Which one, Black Mirror or the Electric Dreams?
Electric Dreams. Yeah. That one seemed a lot more Outer Limitsy to me. Black Mirror is good. It's kind of hit or miss. Some of the good episodes in that are really amazing. And then some of the bad episodes are just like, okay.
Yep, exactly.
Although, you know, with Black Mirror, I think they really started off on a high point, because that whole thing about that whole episode about the Prime Minister banging the pig.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
There's one where they have to like treadmill, and then it turns into a video game, or like American Idol. So like all they do is watch TV, or they ride a bike, like the whole. So you're either a bike rider or you're living life, but the bike riders are powering the power for the whole existence.
And then everything was all like American Idol to the core. It was a chilling future vision right there.
Yeah, well, we're in a very weird. We're in the Bernstein Bears world. That happened at some point. We switched over. Like the Large Hadron Collider created a new universe, and we're all in it.
I feel like Jennifer Jarvis is probably the expert on that, so we might not want to go too far down that rabbit hole without her.
I think she's in the chat. You get her started. She's got some passionately fun opinions in a good way. Like, it's fun to hear her rant on it.
Okay, and VDog55, I'm just saying, Hang the DJ was an okay thing to watch for an hour, but if you didn't see the big twist coming for like 50 minutes of that, I mean, it was kind of sappy. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite hour of Black Mirror. I'm just
that dating one where you're on a timer.
Yeah,
I'm watching with my girlfriend, and we're both like, "Would you look at the timer?"
I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'd look at the timer." I'm not going into this shit blind.
I need to know.
I need to have control of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely watched worse things, but yeah, it was interesting. It got a little bit maudlin towards the end, but I don't know. So that's what we're saying. MixLife 52. Watch some Black Mirror today.
We're talking about the future. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the future. Well, we're living in the future. We got like 10 different flavor companies worth using. You know, we didn't have that at least when I was starting, and a lot of the team started way before me. So it's got to be crazy to look at all the options. The one shots. There were times we'd bring up one shots and people wouldn't even know what we're talking about. And you know, now it's starting to take over in a lot of places. There are times I would ask e-cig Express to carry one shots, like e-juice makers and stuff, and they're like, "No, I can't do it." Like, they told me no probably like 20 times till we got a yes. You know, Wizard Labs doing one shots, like, those are things you don't see too often. Bull City with the recipe packs, like, these are all first time things that are just going to grow, I think.
Well, in vaping, time is a flat circle, though, just throwing it out there, because in the year 2018, just bought a brand new 18 millimeter mouth to lung RDA. So everything comes back around.
Yeah, you're going to be smoking 305s in a year.
Yeah, hey, bridgeless atomizers are coming back. That's my guess on the next big trend in vaping. We're all going to go back to long barrel bridgeless atomizers.
The clearamizers are gonna make a comeback.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Juice in your mouth, like you weren't a vapor if you didn't drink half your bottle of juice from spit up.
Rip Trippers is going to be talking about these brand new silica wicks that hit like a truck full of dildos. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Well, so where are we in time? Are we have the 80s come back yet? Are the 90s now what's retro? Like where? Because
I don't. Yeah, I think we've done the 80s. I think the 90s have sort of been retro because I've seen like some fresh prints kind of like fashion inspiration lately. So I guess the next thing to come back is going to have to be the early 2000s.
Like Soulja Boy is going to be the #1 artist again.
Well, I was thinking Ja Rule, but yeah.
A little Ja Rule, Shantae comeback tour. You know what? They do a salt and pepper vanilla ice kind of tour right now. So I guess, yeah, we're in the 90s of throwback because they're the ones doing the second round of money grab for the old people. We're old.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's fine. That happened a couple of years ago. I've just given up on trying to be cool.
Did you see Vaping with 420, Twisted 420, just ranting about the Berserker name?
Like, yeah, the tiny, yeah, caught that. It's definitely not a bad RDA though. And it's funny because it isn't like, hey, this can kind of do mouth to lung. It's like, holy shit, the draw on that. Like if you set it down all the way, it's basically like it's less airy than anything else with the top cap closed. It's a very solidly built kind of RDA. It's fine. I've mostly got it so it would fit on my iStick 20 watt. Because I do things like that, but yeah, I've been happy with it so far.
But you still got a drip on it. It's not a tank, right?
You still got a drip on it, but you can set it up for squonking. Speaking of like time being a flat circle and stuff, apparently it squonks well, but yeah, like this is it on top of the iStick 20 right there. So it gave me an excuse to use the iStick 20 again.
Gotcha. What kind of coil are you putting in there? Like the smallest, like a Clapton, or like the smallest thing ever?
So I just started out. I have some older Clapton wire around here from Lightning Vapes. It's a fairly high resistance Canthal Clapton, and it was something like 8 wraps at 2 millimeters just to get the resistance over 1 ohm, so the iStick would actually fire it.
So you've made like a crazy version just to get the iStick to work. You're operating in a weird space with 8 wraps.
Yeah. Well, I'm also running it like 11 watts total on it. So.
Gotcha. And that's enough for the hit on it, yeah, because the nicotine's so strong.
Yeah, and yes, sub vapes, I do carry it in my purse. It's small enough it will go in my clutch if I'm just going out on the town, so I don't have to carry around like the full bulky purse. I just put it in with my checkbook. It's great.
Join us next time as Concrete teaches you how to bedazzle your iStick.
So that's been fun fucking around with that. That's been my big vape news of the week. Absolutely nothing else happened in vaping this week, so
yeah, I'm really happy that, all our members conducted themselves in a professional manner to not cause any sort of trouble or drama or issues.
That's us, low key.
Just a low key week of mixing.
Just flying under the radar, man. That's what we do.
Yeah, no one's looking our way with any kind of indignation or fury. So that's good. Go to. High fives, everybody. High fives all around. Yeah.
Yeah, Leilani's going to help me bedazzle my iStick 20. So, yeah, no, we're cool. I'm good. Like, y'all can hate, but I'm going to be stylish as hell.
I'm just picturing that video. of you and Leilani bedazzling something. Oh yeah. New flavors. Anything good coming out? Let's check the bowls. See what's going on. Anything you heard of exciting?
They're coming out with a couple of more of the Capella Silverline flavors. I think they're doing like an e-cig, some sort of apple bakery, and something or other else. So I'll probably pick them up when they're actually out. But my hopes aren't particularly high.
All sold out. You can get a gallon of WS23 now from Bull City if you're insane.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, Apple Snacks is the one that I'm targeting because I am a big fan of the Fruit Loops one that they have. Like after like 2 days of time, it's what I like about Fruit Loops. So like I don't need it to be crazy grainy. So I'll just mix it up with I like Liquid Barn, that ice cream. Those two together, that's a quick mix. It's really good.
It's just like every commercial juice right there.
It is.
Let's take some super thick ice cream and then put some non-grainy Fruit Loops flavor in there. Call it Toucan's Revenge.
Yeah. Send it over to this 8-year-old for graphic design.
And then we'll send it to Donnie Smokes on YouTube, sell 1 million bottles, and then dash.
There's going to be like vape guys that are sitting on some beach in Tahiti, and like the feds roll up and they're like, "We got you, gummy worm 336."
Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, I'll pick up the new Silverline stuff. I mean, if Capella releases something, I'm definitely going to give it a try. So we'll see. I don't know. After I wasn't big on those that they released right off the bat. That last Silverline release, I think I found a place for 27 Fish and 27 Bears. I'm not a big cereal guy, but yeah, people have been using that Fruit Circles. I've been trying to make that damn Silverline Blueberry Extra actually work in a juice, and I haven't been able to do it yet, but I really love that flavor. It just isn't strong enough. It doesn't work the way that it should, but it, like, when you can taste it, it's a crazy, like, fresh, realistic blueberry, which I absolutely love, but I haven't been able to get it to work yet. So I'll definitely try out the new Silverline stuff.
See, I think I suspect this is in no way a knowledgeable statement. These are only my opinions, that Silverline is like old non-compete flavors. Like flavors that were in actual vape juices that got them to sign the flavor over for like a 2-year run, and then they ran out, like the way pharmaceuticals work is you have like the non-generic original, and it'll have a license on it, and after that runs out, then they can sell the generics. Like I think these are flavors that they had because they came out in such a weird release, and then some of them you could totally see how a vape shop brand would be like, all right, Apple Snacks at a 10 and one other ingredient, and then that's our flavor, right? So I suspect the Silverline of being vape shop flavors that they had a license to not use publicly, and then when that ran out, you get this Silverline.
I mean, that would kind of make a lot of sense because that Fruit Circles and that 27 Fish are really, really good. They're probably best of class in those kind of flavors. And to have this show up from nowhere along with like that garbage whipped marshmallow flavor and that bad butter pecan, it's such a weird grouping of things to release at once.
Thank you. Too Tall's telling me how he loves that whipped cream, and it smells like it smells like you use like Splenda, or like not even Splenda, like just like the yellow packets of sweetener, or just like, so something clearly with aspartame in it. Like it has such a diet fake marshmallow if you put it up against like Flavor Art marshmallow.
Like I know I've said it before, but like I don't get that much but just like a vague diet sensation from it. Like I've dripped that flavor straight after trying it at 10% and not getting anything out of it. And I mean, it wasn't good, but it also wasn't as nearly as bad as you think dripping a flavor straight is. So I'm not sure what the hell's going on with that whipped marshmallow. But the fruit circles and 27 fish, there we go.
Yeah, those are good. And the gummy bear is good. So then when I saw apple snacks, I was like, oh yeah, that's another one. But they're like their core flavors are weird. Like butter pecan, like you said, was just like, what do you
like why do you exist next to Flavor West butter pecan? Like
that one seems like a straight like, hey, Flavor West takes all our butter pecan business. Let's try to make one. And it was, nah.
Well, and it seems like they put it together like 30 minutes before it had to go into production. It just is not a good butter pecan flavor.
Right. And when Flavor West is like awesome. Like it's like it hits the same notes as like the Haagen-Dazs butter pecan cream tastes like. So like they did something right there. Meringue is the other new one they have. Meringue, ACI, or however the hell you say that word. And apple snacks. So I don't know. Meringue, I don't know. But you're gonna test them all out, aren't you?
Oh, I'm a mark, really. I mean, somebody releases something new and it's on Bull City, I'll probably end up buying it.
What'd you think of their biscuit of the silver line?
I don't really like that kind of coconut flavor biscuit thing. Like I'm not a huge fan of Inaware's biscuit or JF biscuit, and those don't have nearly as much coconut to me. Like it just kind of tastes like a big coconut off note to me, but I think some people have maybe been using it.
What about Vape Train? Do you have all these Vape Train? Do you have milkshake base?
I have something. They were nice enough to send me something like 100 of their flavors. I picked up a couple more. I'm actually waiting on a couple of them to come in from Bull City that I didn't have already. But their milkshake base, I am still testing through all the Vape Train. Their milkshake base, I don't remember being super impressed with. It just didn't seem like it was particularly thick and creamy. I was trying it up around like 4 to 8% in a mix, and it just didn't work out. But I still have to sit down with it.
What about chocolate milk? Did anybody come across that in the chat or concrete?
I have not. I think Kyle may have tried out the chocolate milk. That sounds like something that he would have tried already.
Those would be like, if they were good, that would be some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I don't have the chocolate milk. I will say their Devon cream, I've been messing with that a little bit, their Devon cream. It has a really serious chocolate note to it. By itself, it's almost like a chocolate milkshake, but I get something lemony out of it, which is a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, that's not Devon cream.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because like people may or may not get the lemon out of it. Kyle says I'm crazy for tasting lemon in there, but it is definitely super chocolatey. It's pretty much a chocolate milkshake by itself. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, we haven't really. I was thinking about Mullenberry too, like maybe picking up some of theirs. I don't know. What's the best chocolate option now that our milk chocolate is kind of.
People were talking up Mullenberry's Glamour chocolate. I've yet to really try any of the Mullenberry stuff. I like TPA's Ruby chocolate, but I generally am mixing fruit with chocolate, so that works out pretty well for me.
Yeah, I would like if you could pull off a good chocolate milk. I think that'd probably be the flavor that I'd enjoy to vape of chocolate the most. Like I tend to find that when I vape chocolate, I actually don't enjoy it as much as I think I will. Like it's one of those weird ones where I'm like, nah, I thought this would be like that and orange creams generally. If you don't make like the perfect balance on the orange, those are the two that you're like, this sounded better than it really is.
Yeah, I kind of missed out on the whole chocolate debate just because I don't have a lot of desire to vape chocolate, and I figure it's probably better for me just to let everybody who actually gives a shit about chocolate argue it out. I like Dave's saying, I like Hankson's Australian chocolate a lot, but if I'm using chocolate, I'm using it more for the cocoa and not for the actual like body or richness or stuff. And Hankson's Australian chocolate is a really good like darker cocoa flavor, but.
Yeah, I'd say they all. You can go. You can use that one, and then I don't think they changed the Inawera chocolate, which is actually pretty good. You know, but we have a good cocoa area. You know, like that dark chocolate. You can get there a couple of different ways, but it's like some about the butteriness of milk chocolate and just kind of that light chocolate note, like a Hershey's syrup. Yeah, so like Hershey's Kiss vape. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying too. It's just that the gentle chocolate. Uh, Liquid Barn Lava Cake and Glamour Chocolate is what Pippa says.
I mean, if you weirdos want to vape chocolate, I mean, you do your thing.
Go right ahead.
I would rather just shove leftover Easter candy in my mouth to get my chocolate fix, but you know, to each their own.
I had they were Cadbury egg cookies, and I got them from the discount Target Easter section, and those were good. Those they took like a chocolate cookie, and then the Cadbury egg mix on top, and then the whole thing was dipped in chocolate. It tasted like a better Twix to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing about Easter because I'm not really religious is scoping out the leftover Easter candy sales.
There's not I don't know how you do like a peep, you know, with the granular sugar, because there's, you know, that's like a key piece of what those Easter bunny rabbit marshmallows are. Oh, I had those dipped in chocolate, which was surprisingly better than just the original.
It's like vaping. Like, I'm guessing that if you were just eating straight garbage, dipping it in chalk would make the garbage taste better.
Yeah, it's fondue. That's like the whole concept of fondue.
Yeah, but maybe I'm just going to avoid eating the garbage. I don't get peeps.
Dave has a peep recipe. Is it dipped in chocolate though? That's what your revision needs to be this year.
Well, what else have you been working on? Anything fun?
Yeah, I don't know if I should probably look to see if this is out. It's a test flavor that Inawera sent me a while back. It's called banana nut only. So it's kind of like banana nut bread without the bread. So it's a strong banana note and then a strong like walnut, I guess is what they're going for. So, and it works really well. So I did that with Belgian waffle, Liquid Barn, and then sugar cookie, Capella. So it's kind of like a banana bread cookie almost, but it's pretty good. The Belgian waffle, I like. It's not much of a waffle, but like the spices to it are really good. So I kind of used it for that. But I'll probably release this one if it, steeps out nice. But so far, enjoyable.
I've been messing around a lot. So every once in a while, I go back to trying to make a mint julep. It's kind of my way to like benchmark new bourbon and mint flavors. And I do a spin on a mint julep every couple months. I was trying to work in the green tea is Kyle that Shindo was saying, you know, you could probably use the green tea for the base for like a leaf, but just because it is like quite very leafy. So I was trying to work like a little bit of green tea into a julep base. So I've been vaping a lot of mint and bourbon, which is not a bad situation for me at all.
Nice. And what are you using? Vape Train bourbon?
I am getting a little bit obnoxious with it because I figure at some point I'm actually going to get a bourbon I'm completely happy with. I've been using Flavora for the oak, TPA's Kentucky bourbon for the sweet body and the fullness, and Vape Train bourbon for the like higher boozy notes. And I want to say I'm getting pretty close.
Oh shit! Concrete River's building liquors over here.
Dude, I don't understand what my fascination is with cocktail vapes, but yeah, those Vape Train boozes are good, but they don't have a lot of body to them. They do the top notes really well. Like if you want a trip, I've been messing around a little bit with their Russian vodka flavor, and it really is just like cheap alcohol heat from like a bottle of pop off and maybe just a little bit of lemon. It's really interesting stuff.
You could use that on the back of like the rum, even like a rum recipe, just to give it the alcohol burn.
Well, but they also have their rums too that do basically the same thing, but it's actually authentically kind of rummy. I only have their light rum right now, which I've been happy with, but I think they have like 3 different light rums. So I'm basically happy as a pig in shit with Vape Train boozes right now. So I've been messing with those quite a bit.
Nice. Yeah, I got to do a new rum.
Yeah, and Graham and I put our substantial heads together and figured out a pretty good Fireball whiskey recipe that he's currently reselling in tiny Fireball airplane bottles. So I'm hoping that he's joking about the middle school thing, but honestly, I'm all for people vaping good juice. So
Concrete River is an independent contractor of e-juice makers, not affiliated with anything related to e-juice makers brand for all legal purposes. We're talking to you, Fireball.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, I had nothing to do with this entire plan, but I'm saying I did manage to make a pretty decent Fireball. I was just fucking around with Graham, and I mixed up a sample. It's like, oh snap, this is actually okay. So,
well, it's just they won't even. I think it's supposed to be a bourbon base, and the company that sells it won't even classify it in their bourbons, so they don't make their bourbons look bad. They're like, no, it's a.
Well, it's absolutely trash. Like it's such a Fireball is just trash, and I just was screwing around and made a cinnamon whiskey that was just trashy enough. So it was kind of fun.
You had like your cutoff shirt on and your jean shorts when you made it to be inspired. You got off the lawnmower.
Now I just need a lukewarm can of Busch beer vape for a chaser, and we're good.
Fireball whiskey, #1 seller in most bars of all things, is that trashy trash.
And it's not even like, okay, well, hey, this is like a fun shot liqueur. It's sugar. Like that's the entire problem. The cinnamon that they use in that just tastes like mold to me. It's so strong. So like there theoretically could be a decent cinnamon whiskey at some point. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but God, it's like they melted an entire bottle of off-brand Red Hots and threw in some like mushrooms into a bottle. It's such nasty stuff.
Did you use red cinnamon Flavora?
Actually, I used a combination of cinnamons. I used mostly fire cinnamon by Flavora, which is cool. It's like definitely that red kind of cinnamon. It's like a candy cinnamon, but it isn't candied. It's just like the spicy part of that without that like oppressive sweetness. I used that for most of it and then threw in a little tiny bit of the red cinnamon to kind of push like the sweeter edge of it.
Don't put e-juice in bottles that they're not meant for.
That was all a joke. That was all completely and totally a joke. We're fine.
Because your friend might drink one on accident and then puke, everybody.
Well, I mean, they're probably no more likely to puke drinking your e-juice than they are Fireball. But, you know, that's fine.
Yeah, like the troll video that has to be fake of like the homeless looking dude tasting the juice and then just chugs the sample bottle the ladies handed to him. Like, I saw a homeless guy buy $1 bottle of yellow mouthwash from the $99 store in LA and proceed to go around the corner to an alley and chug the whole thing. So it is completely likely that a homeless guy will just drink a whole bottle of e-juice instead of trying to get a pack of cigarettes for the day. So if you did see that video and you say, this could never happen, I've totally seen somebody do something this crazy in real life. So it's very possible.
I just also want to throw out a shout out to Dimlin with the Flavor Monks Pure Gin. It is a son of a bitch to get a hold of, but it is such a good flavor.
Yeah, those Flavor Monks gins are really good. I have them still to this day, and there's a few flavors like Adder of Rose by Decadent Vapor and Flavor Monk gins that you can't develop with anymore, but they go into like the personal stock. Like I'll make myself the gins or an Adder of Rose mix, which is amazing, but you can't use them in a mix because you can't even buy that stuff. Like they even had, Capella had a chocolate fudge brownie or chocolate, it was like a chocolate turtle. So it was caramel, nut, and chocolate. You got it? Oh, yeah, I got one of those. That's a good flavor. I would argue it's probably Capella's best chocolate thing. And they discontinued that. So there's flavors like that go. I still got Anywhere chocolate, milk chocolate and stuff. So that, you know, they go and put them in your personal stash for like when you want to make yourself something nice, but you're not necessarily developing recipes or whatever.
Yeah, I got a bottle of Flavor Monks Gin and Tonic and Flavor Monks Gin Orange mixed up right here. So it's my own special treat to myself.
I got Monk in Love, which is like a raspberry, I think. I liked it. You mix them up together. Those are good. Those are good. That's Flavor Monk is a gin flavoring company at the heart of it. And that's why their gins are like, oh my God. And then the rest of the flavors they put out were like, it tastes like strawberry ripe. Because they initially started by hiring a flavorist who was an expert of gin flavoring in Amsterdam. So he was like a business guy. And then he connected with this gin flavorist who was then able to like do other flavors. Like they just released some tobacco flavors, which I'm interested in, just because the way they did the gins, they'll either be like amazing or trash. But if you're real deep into the flavor world and you're looking for like some, you know, hard to get cool flavors, it's like Baker flavors and then some Flavor Monks.
Have you tried the German flavors at all?
The jungle flavors or?
No, there's a brand called German Flavors. I know that they're sold from Vapors Tech in the US, but I haven't tried them at all. We just got a question about them.
I think German flavors are jungle flavors.
Oh, shit. Well, that would make some kind of sense.
That's what I think, sub-vapes. So maybe do some investigating. But I think that's the origin of jungle flavors is Germany. So, you know, there's probably not a ton of competition going on where there's multiple flavor brands that could make a USA supply. So
it could be Sasami or whatever. I know they're based out of Germany and they're fairly big.
Sasami, I don't know if I ever ordered any of theirs.
I can't say anything too intelligent about Sasami because I really only ordered 2 of their flavors and they were both deliberately like, okay, these could be a dumpster fire. One of them was gooseberry, which tasted like tomatillos, but I ordered a gooseberry flavor, so I kind of deserved that.
I have this one. Um, I got this one called Quintessence by a company called Tea Juice from Chefs. And it was just one of those one-off weird added to the carts, like just shopping around. And it's like a white grape brandy. And it's meant to be used like a one shot, but it's delicious. It was one of those weird, like when I made up the uh we made this, it was really Copal's juice that I like remixed a little bit to make it more easy to accept, like, be accessible. But that juice was like when I tried it, it was so strange in like really good ways. Like it was one of those like flavor experiences where you're like, oh wow, this is different. I haven't had this, but I really like this. And that's the way this Quintessence one was too. It was just like, whoa, this is a different flavor. Really enjoyed it. And like trying that one shot got me on to like, there's like a period of my mixing like a year and a half ago where I was into like crazy fruit layering of like pears and limes and just like weird fruit combinations. And that's around the time I did like the gin recipes and stuff. So if you dig back and like on ELR, there's a whole section of these crazy fruit recipes that never got much. Like it was around the time I developed Moya, but Moya didn't come out as a one shot till like a year later because it just got slept on. Like nobody was mixing these crazy fruit recipes, but they're like delicious. So if you want to dig in the recipes and find some good ones, there's like a fruit area. They're real impressive recipes. Like where I was impressing myself, like, God, this is amazing type of mix. And I'm pretty critical generally. Like I don't put stuff out unless it's what I call like a B plus, right? So you can get real crazy trying to go from B plus to A plus. Like you'll go insane. But if you can hit like a B plus, you're probably good to go.
I was laughing. Graham said, yeah, wild and crazy fruit like pear.
Well, you don't see it. Pear is a wild and crazy fruit. Show me some. For mixing, it goes into like guanabana and stuff. Like how many times do you see pear stuff?
Oh, I'm just giving you shit. I just thought it was a funny comment.
Yeah. Pears are wild and crazy, Graham. They party on Friday nights.
They get down. They let their hair down a little bit. It's all good.
Wild and crazy pears.
Oh, and he has you on that Toll House recipe, but he won't say that pears are crazy and wild. So
I love that I have backup on that recipe. Like someone out there actually mixed it, who's active in chat, who's like, this is amazing. This tastes like cookies.
The fucking cookie butter, man. It's such a hurdle. I still need to, I keep on telling myself I need to actually order that to give it a shot.
Well, okay, so cookie butter to me tastes like more cookie dough like than Flavora cookie dough. It's got, like, if you were to cut the roll of the pre-made cookie mix that's been like refrigerated and a little old, you start there. And that when I developed that recipe, it was starting with the cookie butter and then building on top till it became more like a real cookie. That's good though. That's a good recipe. That's a really good recipe. Tastes like cookies. But yeah, cook like cookie butter. You want to catch me mixing that as like a lead because it doesn't. It's the only thing I've ever used it for was to develop. Oh Jesus, cotton doesn't last. It's like cotton. You're gonna kill your cotton just like another chocolate thing. But if you're crazy about chocolate chip cookies and you can source milk chocolate somehow, then make yourself some Toll House.
There we go. If you have a time machine.
So what I think is funny is that like ELR, like trend your recipes up based on length of time, right? So I get comments on things that I made like the second week I was mixing. And I'm like, I don't even know what I did here, more or less, what this recipe is. Like, so I'll get an email from some random, and it's like roulette, like you just don't know. But generally they like it, or they're asking about like a sub or something. But that's the thing, like your old recipes become your famous recipes. So they're looking back on stuff that you're like, oh, I wouldn't have done that nowadays.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating going back. Like, I don't release a lot of recipes in any way, shape, or form, but even going back and looking at stuff from a year ago, I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to revise some stuff, modernize some stuff, erase some stuff. That might be my new big project for the next couple of months, is revisiting a couple of the recipes that I have out there that I'm not super happy with and coming back to them. I don't know. I'm kind of running into the issue where there's only so many flavor profiles I actually give a shit about, and so I just kind of want to work on building a couple of them out well.
Yeah, I think we should do the first 25 proper, because I know you've reviewed enough flavors, so you could like.
I still like that fucking brainy mix that I came up with the first 25. I still go to that occasionally, so I still think that shit's solid. It's slept on.
Yeah, there's a lot that gets slept on just because. I mean, if, you know, you literally have to like release 5 recipes and promo the shit out of them all year long to make them amazing. Because if you're releasing recipes like 100 a year, there's people that just don't see them as much as, you know, like a crazy recipe that catches Reddit fever or something like that, or you're trending on all the flavors like crazy.
Well, and I've also found that I've gotten a little bit, and I'll credit it up to like having to do one shots and stuff. I've gotten a little bit more accessible in my flavor choices. I mean, I will still use the right concentrate if I absolutely have to, but I've gotten a little bit more accessible too, and I feel like I can clean up some stuff. It's none of the popular recipes that I really want to go back. It's some of the stuff that I liked the idea of where it was going, but the execution I didn't quite stick the execution, and I kind of want to go back and take a look at some of that stuff.
Yeah, it's so the cream base was literally one of my first recipes that, like, I had just started mixing, and it was like one of my first home runs right off the bat, where I was like, oh, this is good. And it was around the time where I was like, all right, I think I'm a good mixer, because I've been vaping this vape shop juice for a year. The cheap stuff all the way up to like the fancy brands, you know, that are like considered to be better quality. And I was making recipes. There was like 2 of Wayne's recipes that I had first mixed, and then 2 from his old videos when he'd walk around his living room and just like hold the camera, like not even the house he lives in. If you go way back to Wayne's videos, like his first couple where he's like just walking around his living room, or he's mixing in the kitchen of his his old house. And I had my cream base was like one of these recipes that I ordered my first flavors, but it concepted the thing out. I made it. It went on to Chef's like a year later. Sold well on Chef's. Chef's, you know, just because something's a good recipe doesn't mean it sells well, right? We've had recipes that, you know, are rated great, taste great, people even like them, but the volume of people buying them, or how much they're willing to trade, like maybe they make Creed's custard as their base, so then you have to convert those people. So we segued out the cream base, and I had posted in Chef's. I was like, good, bad, and ugly. Let me have it. You know, what do you think of our one shots, right? And somebody on the cream base was like, oh, I noticed that, you know, I get more muting than I like. And, you know, other people were like, bring it back. I love it, whatever. But I was looking more for the criticism. And I was like, oh, you know, it somebody's noticing the muting. Let me look into it. And then when I went to the recipe, you know, my new eyes, or, you know, where I am as a mixer now, I could immediately be like, oh, I can tone that down here. I can up this one. Boom. And then I hit it out as a new recipe, basically, or revised the original recipe. I killed the old link, right? So that's how I do it, which not everybody does that. Like some people will be like, here's my 15 versions of this recipe. Every little change, maybe you like number 6 more than number 12, so they're all live, right? You'll see it on ELR a lot. They'll be like version 15. What I did, I just killed the old recipe, because to me it was like a better improvement of the mix. So if you didn't screenshot the thing, here's the update. And I'll even do that if you like bring me to an old recipe that I made and I see something that's off, I'll update the thing. And you have to like just go, because I don't want some new person making it and not liking it. And if someone messages me or whatever and they're like, what did you do? I can't find the recipe. I tell them how to get back to where it was. But for me, I want the best recipe out there. So that was a really positive experience. The one recipe that I've gone back and refreshed and then made better and then re-released, that's gotten almost more boost after the fact, after I redid it. So that's a good idea for you to consider, is like giving it a try and just take one of your ones that you're known for and see if there's something that maybe you do different nowadays. Just because the flavors, you know, the flavor options where you would go to Inawera biscuit, like, or something like that, or cactus, or one of those popular flavors from a couple years ago, you might not even use that in the mix nowadays. So everybody should do it,
I think. I really like the hashtag kill your babies. Because that's the entire thing, man. I mean, a lot of it's going back and looking at the same profiles in a different light. And, you know, people evolve as mixers. I've definitely evolved as a mixer. There are a whole bunch of stuff that I used to do that I wouldn't do now. And I mean, I have some recipes out there that I'm not going to mess with, but some of the stuff that didn't quite catch on, some of the stuff that like I feel like can go back. And I have a recipe called Beat the Champ that was like sort of a whiskey soaked chocolate covered raspberry thing, and I went back for Mixers Club. I need to re-release the new version, but I went back for Mixers Club and basically just like cranked the flavor up to 11 and just doubled down on it. And there's some stuff that I feel like was really scattered that I liked the way it tasted, but the profile was just scattered. And so just going back and sort of like re-hammering in the profile and taking a look at it with some of the new concentrates available.
Even that Fig Newton that you did, like, if you took that Fig Newton and used it as like a one shot and then turn that one shot into like an additive, that had all kinds of potential for like weird lower tobacco notes. Like the whole time I was vaping it, I was like, you know, the apple's popping a little more than it should. But if you were to dial it down a little bit as back notes on a tobacco, it would have that Boba Bounty kind of fruity, slurry, smokiness to it.
Yeah, I actually I released I took down Gravity and released Anti-Gravity, which I like quite a bit, which cut the ginger snap considerably. And I forget what tobacco I subbed in there, but I basically subbed in a tobacco for most of the ginger snap, and I've been digging on that.
Anti-Gravity, folks, go mix it up. If you like Fig Newton, tobacco, Boba Bounty kind of stuff, it's good.
So yeah, just scrap everything. Scrap everything. Just burn it down.
Okay, so I'm gonna finish with my girlfriend. I had a bunch of empty bottles, and she's like, "Clean off your graveyard mixes." And I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "That's the perfect term for it. Graveyard mixes." And I was like, I'm using that in the show today because it's like, you know, you get the ones that you don't really like and they'll be like half full. And then they'll just collect at one spot in my house where there'll just be a stack of these like hate vape. Yeah. Concrete's got a ton in his hand. That's the corner of shame right there.
Yeah, it's just, and it's funny because I have good intentions, and there's stuff like if I don't get back to fixing something within a couple months, I'll usually just throw them away. Like I'll have the best of intentions, and then you just have the pile gets bigger, and then you just go through and just say, screw it. If I haven't fixed it by now, I'm probably not going to fix it. Keep the recipes, but like move on. And if you need the idea somewhere else, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we made it. We've done a year of podcasting, 52 hours. Thank you guys for watching, all the live guys that tune in and gals. And then thank you to our 1,200 plus people that are subscribed and watch us on a regular basis. We appreciate it. Appreciate you guys showing up. It helps add to the conversation. If it was just Concrete and I would just be like making jokes. So
talking about our uninformed opinions on sci-fi anthology shows. So thank you very much, everybody.
Twilight Zone, go watch that. Go watch the black and white ones. Those are weird as hell. Those will like make you question how sane your grandparents were, because that was the kind of shit they'd watch.
Dude, some of that Twilight Zone stuff really holds up. I like the original run of Outer Limits too. So find the original run of Outer Limits.
You got some shows to watch, guys, through the week. Let us know what you think of those. They're pretty good stuff. I tried to watch Blade Runner, but I got 2 hours in and was like, all right, I'm going to sleep. This is
the new one?
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, but I had it playing while I was doing other stuff, so I probably didn't pay enough attention to it. Gorgeous movie to look at, though.
Gorgeous movie. The editor was like, just leave it in. Like,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We're at 3 hours now. This is as good as Titanic is. This is. So this is a 2 cassette kind of film here.
I could get lost in Ryan Gosling's eyes, though. So there we go.
And on that, thank you for watching, folks. There's plenty of DIY shows you can check out. Concrete River's in all of them. It's pretty much obligatory that if you start a DIY show, you have to have Concrete River, or it's not a real DIY show. He's basically become the certifying logo of a real DIY show. So if you don't have,
I'm sorry to everybody. I don't know how that happened.
You literally see him on more shows in a week than even Wayne, which is a feat in itself. So congratulations to the mixer of the year. That means he's better at mixing than you are. That's what it means. He's a better mixer than you are. Last year, you sucked. Concrete River did not suck last year. So
I suck now, though, so it's all good. It all balances out.
So go back in your 2017 journal, cross out all the optimistic shit you said, and write, I sucked. Concrete River.
And do better. Do better.
Be like Concrete River.
Don't be like me. Nobody wants to be like me.
It's the new Gary Vee type podcast. Be like Concrete River. Coming soon.
You better start eating, kids.
Start eating, kids. Ta-ta, everybody.